Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my regular Tuesday card this week. I don't know where the time goes. It seems like I just did one of these videos yesterday, but it was actually a week ago. So my name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Colorado in a small rural town called Keansburg. We're about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. Today we have snow coming in this afternoon, and right now it's pretty cold and blustery, but yesterday we had a beautiful day. We actually had almost like a springtime day, so it will eventually get here, but it's been a long winter for me anyway. So for today we're going to be doing this card here. It features a bundle from the new mini catalog that runs from January till April 30th. I actually made a birthday version of this card, and it is just says a happy birthday verse on the inside. And then the one we're making today is going to be the thanks. As a demonstrator, I need lots of thank you cards, so that's what we're going to work on today. So I will show you all the product we're using. As I said, we're using a bundle from the new January to April mini catalog. It's called Marigold Moments. We're using just about every single stamp set in this bundle except Happy Mother's Day, although that's probably going to be a card I'll be making down the road because I love the way this card turned out. Along with that, we're going to use the coordinating die set. It's called Marigold Moments also, and we're using several images from here, and I'll kind of point them out as we get started. As always, this is a bundle. If you decide you like this card, maybe would want to get the stamp set, you get a 10% discount. You can go to my online store at sherrymini.stampinup.net. And all this video and all the details on the card will be posted to my blog later today at simplylovestampin.com. And if you need to reach me, you can always get me at my email at suaddicted@gmail.com. So in addition to the Marigold Moments, we are going to be using one of the greeting stamp sets that I use all the time. It's called Go To Greetings. For the birthday card, that's where I got this greeting. The thanks actually comes from the Marigold Moments stamp set. And then for the greeting, pardon me, we are using another die set featured in the mini catalog. Just to cut out the label, we're using this one right here. So that is all of the stamps and the dies that we're going to be using. We're using several colors today. We're going to be using crushed curry and mango melody for our marigolds. For the leaves, we'll be using shaded spruce. And for our greeting, we're going to be using the Night of Navy. And in addition to that, we are going to be using the embossing folder that's called Timber. And it just kind of gives you a wood tone effect. We'll be embossing our main image with that. And then we are going to be using a little bit of the designer series paper. This is called Regency Park, and it just has some really beautiful florals, just all nice color combination. And then on the back, as usual, you get a more subtle, solid image. And we're just using a little bit of this paper for the front. And then for the embellishment on our card, we are going to be using the, this is a new packet. I love this one. It's called, what is it called? Milky Dots, I guess. And we're going to be using either the gold or the navy on here. Also comes in what I think is probably a petal pink, kind of a pinkish tone, but they're very pretty. And as always, they have adhesive on the back, so it's very easy to put them on. We have our greeting on our Stamparatus, and so I think for your packet, we'll get started with that, and you'll have a card base of thick basic white. This is a top folding, which I don't do very often, but I thought it looked better on this card. So it's actually 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. You'll have a little tiny piece of basic white, the regular, to stamp your greeting on. You have a piece of, let's see, what is this? 4 1/4 by 5 1/8. That's for your front part. And then here's the little piece of designer series paper that we'll use for this part right here. And then I have the piece that we'll put on your envelope. So that's pretty much it for that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get our stamping all done. And I did bring in a piece of paper, but where did I put it? And there is, like I say, this is not a hard card, but there is some stamping. It features two-step stamping, which I think makes the flowers look very realistic. And we will be doing some second generation or stamping off for the flowers. And so we're going to start off with Mango Melody. And when I do two-step stamping, what happens with two-step stamping, you have a very detailed image that has all the little details that you want in it, and then you have a solid that you fill in with. And normally you do two different colors, or you do one and stamp off. So today we're going to do, and I always like to stamp the detailed or the darkest color that I'm going to use, because that makes it easier to line up the other one. So today we're going to do this one in Mango Melody. Get it inked up really well. And we will stamp it down here. Get a nice image. Okay. Now I'm going to do all my Mango Melody stamping first. So we have, oh no, actually I don't need to do that because we're going to be doing that on the inside of the card. So let me grab the inside of our card and we will do that. I would like to get all of our stamping done first thing if we can. As soon as I find my card base. It ran away from, oh, there it is. All right. And so on the inside, we're doing the same technique, except that we have a little bit of a dark, smaller marigold. And I'm going to stamp it up a little bit because we're going to have the stem. Okay. And then we will also be doing our big flower. Let's see, did I do the big flower on the envelope? Let me see. No, actually, we're going to do the small flower on our envelope. Well, happy Valentine's to you all. I am filming this on Tuesday morning, and it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's. I hope you get a nice Valentine from your sweetheart, if that's the case. Bud and I don't. We've been married almost 60 years. Valentine's Day, we don't participate, I guess I should say. We know that we love each other, so. All right, now for this smaller image, we have the fill-in image, and I'm going to be doing that in the crushed curry, but we're going to be stamping this off, and it makes it very much easier to line it up if you have your darker image stamped first. And I will try not to get my head in the camera, but no promises on that. And this is a very easy one to line up, so then you get that nice yellow fill. All right, and we'll do the same thing for the one on our inside of our card. You always stamp off. And this one, if you don't get it exactly, it's okay. It still lines up pretty nicely. Okay, and then we're going to do, for our large flower, we're going to do this great big filled in image, and I always turn this upside down because it is such a large image, and I just make sure that I have plenty of ink on here, and we stamp it off. I didn't do a very good job on that. Let's try that one more time. It might be better if I put this on here. Since these are photopolymer, there's no cushion on them, and so sometimes it works better if you have a cushion under them. So I'm going to try to put it with the cushion on it and stamp it off and see if we do better. Ah, much better. And then you just take this, and it's, like I say, this card, this stamp is pretty easy to line up. It has this little bit right here, and that kind of matches up with the stamp set, so I line that up, and then I kind of eyeball the rest of it and try to get it as close as I can. Like I said, this one is pretty forgiving, so you don't have to get too concerned. Put a little extra pressure since we did stamp off. We don't have as much ink on our stamp. And there we go. I just think it's very realistic and looks really pretty. Okay, now we're going to go on to our leaves. And the only other, we'll need our Mango Melody for our greeting, but we will not leave this. Now we're going to do our leaves. So we have 2 sets of leaves and a little tiny leaf that we're going to be using. And again, we'll be stamping off. Let me get all my leaves up here. So we have this one. This is the image for the larger flower. And we will be cutting these all out with a die. We have that one. Then we have, so this one, let's see what else. Oh, we have this little tiny leaf. Again, I'm going to stamp off and put this over here. And then we have this little one that will go on our cards. Once you get all the stamping and cutting out, it goes really quickly. And I have already cut out the images, so we'll cut out that part. Yeah, sorry. Had a momentary blank there. How am I lining this up? This one is pretty easy because you have this 3 little pointy things right here. And you have that same image on your flower stamp. So that one is taken care of. Then we'll do our envelope. Okay. And then what else do we have? Got that one. I've got that one. I think that's it for the leaves. Now I have this little tiny thing image that I'm going to put full strength in the shaded spruce and make it a little, just a little bit of a definition on the leaves, so we have a little bit of added texture to our leaf and makes it look a little more like a real leaf. This video is going to be a little bit longer than my last 2 or 3 because there's just more steps involved. So I'm doing this darker image on anywhere that there's a leaf. I just think it kind of makes the leaf stand out a little bit. Okay, did I get them all? Let's see. I think I did. Okay, so stamping, the only other stamping that we have to do is in the Night of Navy. We're going to take our thanks greeting. Like I said, you can make this into any kind of a card. I'm actually going to make a couple of these for sympathy cards. Unfortunately, have a need for those, so and we're just going to stamp that down. Okay, I think other than the marigold, we're done with that. Now let me pull out the dies and I'll show you how all were. Unfortunately, I stuck them back in the box and I should not have done that. So for our greeting, our thanks, we are going to use from the Something Fancy dies. We're going to use this and line it up and put it on our machine and cut it out. And then we're using several of these from the Marigold Moments dies. So this big one lines up with that. And you cut that out. We have, let's see, what do we have here? Oh, wrong one, sorry. Got the wrong one. We have this one that lines up with our other leaf. And then we have this one that lines up with the tiny leaf. So all of this is cut out on the die machine. Now, since I didn't want us to have to watch me cut all of this because you've all done this many times, so I know that you know how to cut. I have already done some of it. So here's our flowers. Here's our leaves. Here's our thanks. I also have a little tiny piece of designer series paper that we're going to back that with. And then here is our little tiny leaf. Now, this piece here, let me show you. This is how we're going to work on our front. If you notice on our card, we have this pretty little piece of designer series paper, and we have a little detail. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm off the camera. We have our detail image, a little detail feature at the top. So here's how that works. You take your piece of, that's going to be your front. And again, we're going to use the Marigold Moments, and it has this nice long die that gives you the scalloped feature. So what you do is you take this and you put it along here, and you put it pretty close to the bottom. Just leave the teeniest little sliver of paper showing on the bottom of this die, and we're going to run this through the die cut. Once you do that, you get this feature, the scalloped, and then you have this little piece here, which is what we're going to actually glue to the top of this. Now you'll see here I have run this through the embossing machine with the timber folders so that you get a nice embossed look to that. So we're kind of almost ready. We're ready to actually start assembling our card. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this is our card base. Don't want to lose this little piece. I'll take my card base. I'm going to take our 7/8 by 4 1/4 inch strip of designer series paper, and we're going to glue it very carefully to the bottom of this and just match up the bottom edge. And I think I have some, as you know, here I am with my green cap glue. It's just easier for me to do this way. And then we're just going to put this down on the bottom. Oops, except guess what I did? I don't know I did it right. I put 2 or 3 of these together wrong and had this on the back side and not the front side. But we're good here. And then we're just going to take, actually I think I'll glue the little tiny piece on first. Now when you cut this out, you're going to have little pieces in here that you have to pop out, but it doesn't take any time at all to get that done. And then we'll take I like to use my tweezers to hold on to this. And again, I'm taking my green cap glue. This is really Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue, but I just have always called it the green cap glue, or sometimes I even just call it the green glue. And we're just going to put this right along the edge, not a ton because we don't want it gushing out everywhere. And then we will take this and we will just line it up at the top. And with the glue, you have a few minutes, or a few seconds, I guess. I don't mean minutes because you don't have minutes, but you do have a few seconds to be able to line this up because it is kind of small and a little bit fiddly, but not bad. And you can, whoops, there I went too far with it. You can just get it lined up really closely at the top, okay? And that way you're not wasting anything, and it gives a little added feature to your card. Okay, there we go. Then this is going to be glued to the front of our card. And sometimes when you emboss a piece of paper, it flattens it out a little bit. So this may be a little bit larger than our card front. If so, then I just trimmed it down. I don't do this part real well. I struggle with getting them lined up like I want them. But we'll give it our best shot. Try to get it as even at the top as you can. And then as you can see, I'm off a little bit, but I can slide it. Okay. Wow, guys, I'm sorry. I am running over on this video. There's just a ton of stuff to do. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is we'll take our images that we have stamped, and I have already put dimensionals on the back of them, and we will take our pokey tool and we'll just pull these all off. I put my flower on first. And I put it on kind of more up towards the top and pushed it down. And the same way with our little our leaf. And I also put a little bit of glue. This is going to be resting on the flower, and I want it to stay down, so I just put a little glue on that. I'm so sorry. I'm suffering with, I know, allergies. It sounds weird, but I have year-round allergies, and they are not being nice to me this year. And already this spring, or well, as weird as it sounds, with as cold of temperatures that we've had here, the trees do begin to have some action in February, and I'm super allergic to trees. So consequently, I always have fun when it comes around when the trees start doing their thing. Okay, and then we'll take this piece, put a little glue, and I just kind of offset this a little bit, just whatever looks pleasing to your eye. Nobody has to do it the same. And then whoops, but you want to be careful because of this small paper, it slides. I had one, it was so crooked I had to redo it. There we go. That's better, I think. Okay, and then we're going to take this and we're going to put it down here, and I just put a couple of dimensionals on the back end of it. Actually, I've got some cut out here. Let me see. I'll just use a couple of these. And then I put a little bit of glue on this end because it's going to be resting on the flower. Take my backing off. Okay. And then the other thing we have to do is put on our little embellishments. And what I did is I'm going to use the gold this time. And I put a small one right here and a large one right there. Okay. Now for the inside, and that's really about all we have to do. For the inside, I have my Stamparatus. Let's see, how did I have this set up? I always double check when I put and you can see I'm way over on this part right here. Can you see how that's from the paper spreading out from the embossing folder? So when I get over in my studio, I'll take the trimmer and just trim that off. So it'll be, actually, you know what, I'm going to do with my scissors just so I can get this lined up in my Stamparatus correctly. It's easier on the trimmer, but I didn't bring a trimmer over here, so I don't know why. All right, now we'll take this. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I could have left that. Get confused about what ends of the card's going in. Okay, and then that, and then I need to make sure that this is still lined up. Okay, and then we will take our Mango Melody, and we will. I'm just going to put a stamp case under here because it makes it easier to ink and not get so much ink everywhere. Put this down. I did mine a couple times just for okay. And this says you have a heart of gold, so we're done with that. And the only other thing we have to do is take our, sorry, it's slid under my computer. Close these up. Clean house a little bit. I got stuff everywhere. And we will take our glue. Just put a little bit around the edges. Line that up like we always do. Push it down so it's stuck real good. Take our scissors and trim. And we will have a nice card to go. Like I say, it's a card that you can easily use any sentiment on. I think it will make a pretty with sympathy card, and would make a nice Mother's Day card. Just any kind of occasion that you might need a card for, I think this would work. Okay, so here we go. Excuse me again. This is the card we did today. You'll notice this envelope's a little bit different. I unfortunately got a smudge of ink up here, so I just took my blending pen and got it in the Marigold ink, or I'm sorry, Mango Melody ink, and I just sponged around it just to cover up. I didn't want to waste a whole envelope, so that's what that's all about. All right, there we are today. I hope you enjoy this card. It is really a nice one. We will be doing this card in class, and you can choose whatever kind of sentiment you might want. Oh, you know what? I forgot one little tiny detail. I had this you have this little tiny leaf, and where did I put my tweezers? And you just put that up at the top to give it some balance wherever you would like to do it. There. I always have to leave off one little piece, don't I? All right. Thank you so much for spending time with me and watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will hopefully be back with you again next Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.